Have you ever felt as though two powerful currents flow within you at once? There are certain individuals in this world who walk a path of profound integration. Consciously or not, they embody a nature so unique, so seemingly paradoxical, it resists simple definition. They are not defined by tranquility alone, nor by turmoil alone. They are the synthesis of both. Within them, the great dance of opposites finds harmony. And if you are drawn to these words, there is a strong possibility you recognize this journey as your own. But how can you truly know? What are the markers on this path? What is the experience of holding both immense stillness and a powerful storm within your own heart? This inquiry goes beyond mere personality. It touches the very foundation of your being. We will walk through this exploration together with patience and with clarity. This is not about giving you a list of labels. It is an invitation to look within, to feel each reflection, and to see if a deep part of you resonates with recognition. Either way, you will gain clarity. Let's consider the first sign. You have never entirely felt at home in any single group, not even among spiritual seekers. You try to connect with those who embrace only serenity, but find their avoidance of life's friction leaves you feeling incomplete. You understand those who explore the shadows, yet their singular focus on struggle can feel like an endless cycle. For some, your presence is too potent. For others, too gentle. You speak truth with a quiet strength. You offer peace that carries an inner fire. Perhaps you have been called complex, difficult to understand, too intense or too calm. The truth is not that you are confused. You are whole. The confusion belongs to those who need to place everything into a neat box. You never had the option of choosing one side because your journey is to harmonize them. You are the embodiment of that integration, the path less traveled. This may be why you have known solitude, but it is also the source of your deepest strength. The second marker delves deeper still. You have a unique relationship with your own inner strength. You feel its potential, and you also understand its weight. Since you were young, you've known your presence could shift the feeling in a room without a word. People are drawn to this quality. Some are inspired, others are unsettled, unable to name why. You have unintentionally unsettled illusions with a simple observation. You have offered comfort without trying. You have spoken truths that dismantled falsehoods, even when you wished for quiet. This kind of influence is not common. It is not something learned from books. It is a deep-seated quality, rooted in the core of your being. But without guidance on how to steward it, you may have either restrained it or let it run untamed. You may have dimmed your own light to be accepted, or your unchanneled intensity may have overwhelmed others. The reason for this dynamic is that your path was never about a choice between strength and compassion. It was about their fusion. You are strength with a heart. You are fire guided by wisdom. That combination is exceptionally rare and profoundly transformative. The third sign is that you have endured profound life tests. Not just difficulties, but challenges that reshaped your entire sense of self, that humbled your ego and forced you to re-evaluate everything. You didn't just experience a loss. A part of you died so a new part could be born. You didn't just change careers, you shed an old identity, released the illusion of being in control, and adopted a wider view of life. And each time you rise from the ashes, you return with greater clarity, focus, and depth. You do not mend like others. You don't just recover, you transform. You take hardship and turn it into wisdom. You take painful experiences and turn them into greater perspective. You take your own shadows and turn them into awareness. You achieve this not by ignoring the difficult parts of life, but by integrating them. You learn their language. This is the mark of someone who carries the capacity for both, because most people would be broken by such weight. But you were forged to hold it. The fourth sign is found in your connections. You don't just interact with people, you meet them at a deep level. Your presence tends to draw out either the highest potential in someone or their deepest shadows. A middle ground is rare. You have experienced people who felt an immediate, deep connection to you, and others who felt an immediate aversion for no clear reason. You have been seen as a guide, an inspiration, a disruptor, sometimes by the same person in different moments, and you likely attract those who are either very self-aware or deeply searching for their way. Why? Because your very nature acts like a mirror, a still lake reflecting what is truly there. Not everyone is ready to see themselves so clearly. You do not seek comfortable connections. You seek growth, or you prefer solitude. Your way of being does not engage in superficiality. You are here to awaken and to be awakened. When you hold both stillness and storm, every relationship becomes a space for profound transformation. If these insights resonate, it may be because you are walking a path that is not meant to be walked alone. This journey of inner wholeness is one shared by many, even if in solitude. If you feel a connection to this way of thinking, I invite you to subscribe and join our shared space of exploration. Share these words so that others who feel this same quiet calling may find a sense of community. Have you ever noticed how you can perceive people's underlying state so easily? Why you see past their masks, sense their unspoken intentions, and feel their inner state without a word? That is more than just sharp senses. That is the fifth sign. You are a person who has journeyed through your own inner light and shadow. Because of that, you have developed a different kind of sight. You notice what others miss. You hear the silence between the words. You know when there is misalignment. You know when someone is holding back. And the challenge, you often still approach them with compassion because a part of you understands their inner struggle, not just as a concept, but from your own experience. You don't observe from a high mountain. You see from the valley. That is why your compassion is so potent, because it is not born of innocence. It is forged in the fires of experience. And when someone feels that kind of presence, it invites them to either rise to meet it or to turn away. The sixth sign is this magnetic duality within your being. You are both deeply contemplative and deeply instinctual. You can sit in meditation for hours, connect with a profound sense of peace, and yet you also feel the full spectrum of human experience: anger, desire, sorrow, wildness. You honor the sacred and the earthy. You understand emptiness and the drive to create. You can be the centered monk and the disciplined warrior, the devoted partner and the untamed force of nature. And you have likely grappled with this, feeling torn between these different aspects of yourself. But this is not a flaw. This is wholeness. You are not here to be a flawless statue. You are here to be a complete human being. And being complete means honoring every facet of your existence, not just the polished ones. The world does not need more perfected images. It needs more authentic people. And your path is one of radical authenticity. Now we have come to the seventh and final marker, and this one may stir something deep within. You have always known, on some level, that your life is guided by an inner compass that defies simple logic. You've witnessed synchronicities that go far beyond chance. You have heard a voice within you, not the voice of fear, but a quiet voice of knowing. You have followed it even when it led you down an unknown path. You have let go of everything familiar, yet still felt a deep sense of purpose pulling you forward. Ancient wisdom speaks of this as answering a higher calling, not in a way that suggests superiority, but in a way that acknowledges a profound life path. You chose, on a level deeper than your daily consciousness, to walk this path of integration, to understand both sides of human nature, and then to demonstrate what that wholeness looks like. You are not just healing your own wounds. You are mending ancient patterns. Your work sends ripples through life itself. And that is why your journey has been so demanding, because you are not walking for yourself alone. So now, a question for you. Do you see your own reflection in these signs? Do you feel the pull of both the mountain stillness and the ocean storm within your own heart? Do you know what it means to carry compassion like a shield and truth like a finely honed blade? If any part of you answers yes, then you are not simply a traveler. You are a builder of bridges. You are a guardian of the space in between. And your true journey is just beginning. How then do you live with this awareness without letting these powerful currents pull you apart? How do you become the calm eye of your own inner storm? That is our next exploration. You recognize you are not here for an ordinary life, not here to fit a conventional mold. You are something else. You are the meeting point of opposites. So, the essential question arises, how do you live in this way without becoming overwhelmed, without collapsing under the weight of your own potential, without becoming a walking contradiction that consumes itself? This is what we will now explore. Living with this integrated nature is not about finding balance in the common sense of the word. Balance often implies a precarious truce between two opposing forces. But this is not about that. It's not about keeping your stillness and your fire separate. It is about learning to let them flow together and then guiding that combined current with deep awareness. The first step is to understand your own inner pattern. Everyone with this nature has a dominant flow. Some lead with stillness and carry the storm beneath. Others lead with fire and hold stillness at their core. You must ask yourself, when you enter a space, when you speak your truth, when you connect with another, what leads? Is it your intensity, your directness, your passion? Or is it your gentleness, your patience, your grace? Knowing this does not judge your worth, but it clarifies your strategy for living. You must know which quality leads and which supports, because when you deny either, you create inner conflict. When you allow one to lead and the other to support, you move with purpose. Second, you need a disciplined structure, or your dual nature will create chaos. This is where many falter, not from a lack of strength, but from the lack of a container strong enough to hold both their tranquility and their intensity. You need practices that ground you, not just pleasant words, but real, embodied actions that help your nervous system regulate the full spectrum of your being. You need days of quiet to fast from the world's noise, no endless scrolling, no draining of your energy. You need grounding practices when your inner shadow feels overwhelming. You need mindful breathing to calm the fire. You need absolute stillness to hear your inner wisdom speak. Most importantly, you need non-negotiable time for reflection, daily, weekly. Not to criticize yourself, but to observe your inner state. Ask yourself each evening, today, did I act from clarity or from an old wound? That single question can prevent much of the turmoil we unconsciously create. Now, the third key, mastering your emotional strength. If you hold both currents, your emotional capacity is vast. You feel things with great depth, but not like an unprotected empath who simply soaks up the world. Your emotions are elemental forces. They can build and they can demolish. Your joy can fill a room. Your sorrow can be felt by others. Your focused anger can shake someone's foundations. This means if you do not know how to channel these forces, you will either repress them until they erupt or express them in ways that cause harm. The path is to learn to ride the wave without being swept away by it. When a great anger rises, do not fear it. Give it a conscious practice. Let it move through your body in a safe way. When sadness comes, do not try to reason it away. Allow yourself to feel it fully, for that is the path to renewal. But always, you must return to your center. Always come back to stillness. You are not meant to live in the storm. You are meant to be its calm, guiding center. And then comes the fourth key, perhaps the most challenging. Navigating relationships when you possess this nature. This is where many on this path experience the most pain, because you cannot sustain superficial connections. Your presence either awakens something in another person, or it makes them deeply uncomfortable. Often both. You've likely had people who were drawn to your light, but could not handle your intensity, or people attracted to your wild spirit who rejected your need for stillness. You've been too much for some, and not enough for others. And perhaps you began to think the problem was you. It is not. Your presence is simply a clear reflection that they cannot ignore. That kind of clarity is not for everyone. The truth is this: you need people in your life who have also walked through their own fire, who do not run from intensity, who understand that silence is not absence and that passion is not rage. You need reflections that see your entire nature and do not look away. But until you find them, you must become that mirror for yourself. You must stop abandoning parts of yourself to be accepted. You must stop dimming your presence to make others comfortable. You must cease apologizing for your own wholeness. The right people will not just value one side of you, they will appreciate the beautiful, powerful synthesis you have become. I want to speak to the part of you that may still feel incomplete, the part that thinks, if I were truly whole, I would have this figured out by now. I wouldn't still be struggling. That thought is a deception. You are not behind schedule. You are not failing. You are simply learning to conduct a greater flow of life force than most will ever experience. And that requires practice. It requires letting old selves die. It requires living many lifetimes of growth within one. Your path is not a straight line. You are here to become a living example of integration and to master that art until it becomes your gift to the world. So I ask you, what part of you have you been hiding because you thought it was too powerful? What inner fire have you been smothering? What gentleness have you been ashamed of? What strength have you been leaking because you were never taught how to hold it? This journey is not about arriving at perfection. It's about being fully present. It is about showing up with your whole self each day, even when it feels vulnerable, even when it changes your relationships, even when it shatters the image others have of you. Because that is what our world needs. Not more polished figures, but more real human beings. Those who do not just speak of stillness and storms, they embody both. They carry thunder and silence in the same breath. They can walk into turmoil and become the unwavering eye of the storm. They do not choose between their higher and lower selves. They become the sacred container that holds both. Your legacy is not simply what you achieve, it is what you become. By demonstrating this wholeness, you show others what is possible. I will leave you with this. You are not broken. You are not confused. You are not lost. You are in a state of profound becoming, and what you are becoming is a threat to illusion and a blessing to truth. Let others misunderstand you. It is okay if they feel unsettled. Your journey is to stand firmly in your own center, to become the integrated human being you were always meant to be. If this journey of becoming a fully integrated self resonates with you, I invite you to make a commitment to your path. Subscribe to this channel as a gesture of that promise to yourself. May you continue to walk it with courage and clarity.